He's here. All right. Now I got to get into my intro. Okay, so I'm sure he can hear me, but now I got to get into my intro. You guys ready? This is a big deal. All right. Folks, words cannot describe the amount of joy and excitement it brings me to be able to introduce my next guest. Welcome to the 80th interview and season 2 finale of Jant More Interviews. Thank you all so much for supporting me and continuing to watch as I have so much more planned into the new year. My next guest has been the voice of thousands of characters ranging from promo, animation, and video games, and has made up the childhood of literally millions, and chances are if you're watching, he's made up yours, including myself. He's been the voice of Captain Hook since 1978, Count Dooku in all video games and animated media, Brainiac in Superman the Animated Series, Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, Megatron, Ratchet, Ironhide, and Shockwave in Transformers Animated, V.V. Ergost in The Secret Saturdays, Malware and Brainstorm in Ben 10. He's the voice of the Ghost Host in the Haunted Mansion attraction. He's the voice of Shockwave, Bronze, Spike Witwicky, Alpha Trion, and more in Transformers G1, Cad Bane and Ziro The Hutt, and Zeus in the God of War franchise. And y'all, if I kept going, I would spend 30 minutes just naming off characters. Please stand up and give a rounding roar of applause for the immensely talented, legendary, and humble voiceover artist, Corey Burton.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hello and hi, as Gary Owens used to say.
Stand up, y'all. If y'all are standing up, you're fake. You're fake. Stand up. Oh my God.
Yes. Well, I'm late as usual.
Listen.
I haven't even eaten yet here, so I have got a little protein bar here, so hope I will be ducking out of view momentarily here and there to nourish myself. I always say I keep vampire hours because my grandparents were from the Transylvania region of Europe. And I had a very funny great aunt who sounded like a bad Dracula impression, but she swore a lot. So, damn it, you're so beautiful. And then I won't swear here because I think we have probably an all-age audience. But anyway,
before I get into the questions or anything like that, I would just like to say this is beyond a humbling and honoring experience for me as someone who is an immense fan of your body of work and just an immense fan of you as a human being. I take so much inspiration from your work and so much that you've done and given to this world. Thank you so much. And here's a little game for y'all. Y'all take a shot every time I say thank you, because I'm going to say thank you throughout this interview.
Thank you. Right, as I always say, I'm just an old radio actor.
Well, you're more than that. Trust me. I know you see yourself, but truly you've enriched my life and so many others' lives through a lot of the work you've done. Has helped truly inspire me as someone who is an artist, and I take so much inspiration from your work. So, sir, thank you for being here. Well, I'm so glad you're here.
It is my pleasure. Truly. I mean, especially at this point, I just do it for the pleasure and working with great people, and hopefully working on projects that are inspiring and enriching and mean something to people, I found out early on in the junior high or high school. By the way, how's my level and everything?
You a little, maybe, I don't know if you're too close to the mic or something, but
is it too huge sounding? Yeah,
just a little bit.
Let me turn it down. Yeah, let me balance it so that I sound about at the level you're at. How's that? Is that better?
Just a little bit more.
Little more, less.
Little more, less. You sound awesome. All right.
Oh no, I just want to make sure my level is balanced. I trim the bass a little bit here. because I'm on a giant ribbon microphone.
I was researching you. I found out that you're big into like audio and microphones and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as a kid, all my life, I've been an audio geek. You know, first thing I ever wanted special as a present, a tape recorder. and you know, as I've discovered later in life, I have you know, I've got the Asperger's thing, so I and just very blessed, I guess, with super wide range, super sensitive hearing. And so I'm just constantly analyzing sounds, and that makes it simple for me. It makes it very natural to be a mimic. You know, as I hear a voice, it's like, yeah, let's see, you know, I listen to all the elements of it and sort of get a flavor of the character. Yeah, I can do that. And listen to myself and adjust, and it's like, yeah, I tune into it. But I didn't become a real actor, a voice actor, until I attended workshop with one of my idols, Daws Butler, Yogi Bear and Huckleberry Hound and Mr. Jinx and all those characters, Captain Crunch, and on and on and on.
Your story is so important and so great to me. How you're so open and honest about a lot of things too is something that's something I love about you, because a lot of the time some people are just very scared of their truth and scared of what they live in and scared to tell people this, that, and third and be honest. But it's really so refreshing, because there's a lot of fake faces in the world, and a lot, especially sometimes in the industry, a lot of people who tend to hide who they are or hide what they're going through. And you're just so open, like the things you have, like your Asperger's or something like that. Some people are scared to even admit that they have stuff like that, and that's really awesome.
Yeah, well, I was brought up. I mean, I was drawn to, and the only place I fit in the whole world was with these radio actors, voice actors. In the old days, I would be called a voice man, or trick voices, or character voices, and character voice actors. And it's funny, if you listen to old-time radio shows, anything that was done in Hollywood from the 1940s through the early 60s, and then afterwards, there were a few sort of redux radio series that were syndicated after the golden age, and I worked with and became a part of this community of these great radio actors, and they were all like this, you know, just they're character actors, you know, and the character actors, they never have an ego. They play characters, you know. And they were all so good. You know, it was remarkable. They could pick up a script, glance at it, and they say, okay, go. And the whole cast would be bang, live, radio, every part perfect, every character perfect. Anyway.
No, I love that. You know what? One thing I was thinking of when I was like learning that you love radio like that, one game I would have or game franchise I would have loved to have seen you been a part of is Fallout, because in the Fallout games there's this thing called the Pip-Boy, and the Pip-Boy plays like all these great like classics from Nat King Cole to the Temptations and stuff like that.
Greatest singer.
Right, and then there's this announcer that's like, good evening ladies and gentlemen, the next song, and I would have loved to have seen you do that voice as like one of the Fallout announcers, like naming
that
the songs.
You know, that was I think one of the first types of vocal characterization that I was completely in love with and wanted to be one of the greats at. Now, by the time I got into the business, that was already old time. But now I get a lot of stuff doing old time announcers, but there was a great craft to it, because announcing is not really acting. It is, but it isn't. It's more like singing. Because there's always a musical tone, and in the 19 and I do a thing that a lot of people get a kick out of, where I go through the ages of announcers, because it was the 1930s and everything was yelled because the microphones weren't very sensitive and the reception was bad. They rolled their R's and they spoke in a phony British accent so that every word was legible and clear. In 1930s. In the 1940s, you got into the swing era, and everybody had that kind of swingy sound, a little bit jazzy and swingy, and always with the smile. I'm drooling, I always do. I spit everywhere. I learned, wild abandon. You don't hold back on that kind of stuff. Like doing sound effects or something. And it's like the character is sneezing or whatever. It's like, oh, I don't want to make a big mess, or I don't want to splatter. No, you do it. You spray your script. My script is always wet if I'm doing crazy character voices. But anyway, so yeah, the 40s. In the 1950s, when they got a little bit more, they tended to be more old radio actors with the big, rich voices, and they didn't have much else to do when they became the announcers. And then the 1960s, you had your rock jocks. 1960s, and the 70s and 80s, and in the 90s, everything became this sawtooth voice. Well, that was actually based on the late 60s, early 70s Grindhouse. And to me, the archetype announcer, who was a great actor, did the trailers for all the horror films and blaxploitation films. He won an Oscar for Soldier Story, Adolf Caesar. I saw him once at a studio. He was a little man, and I thought I had no idea who he was, and I was sitting in the lobby, Bell Sound Studios in Hollywood, waiting to do a session, something. And this little man walked up to the receptionist, and she said, "Oh, and your name is?" Adolf Caesar. oh, that's him. And I was just like absolutely gobsmacked. He was incredible. Anyway, I go on and on and on.
Oh no, absolutely no. You must have worked with some incredible people like June Foray, or maybe you met Mel Blanc, or of course
I never met Mel Blanc, but June really? I knew from the very start. That's how I got into show business. Nobody in my family particularly has anything to do with show business, but me, But turned out my uncle knew June Foray because he managed a thrifty drugstore in Woodland Hills where she lived. And she would go there to pick up stuff. And my uncle, Uncle Burton, that's how I got my official name. Because he had 3 girls. My dad had 3 boys. Yes, but also too, because we're not known for our faces. We're only voices, and especially character voices. So you got to have a name that can be anything. And so anyway. But anyway, so Uncle Bert knew June Foray, and I was watching a Bullwinkle show one weekend. We were at grandmother's house, and Or maybe it was Fractured Flickers. I don't know. I saw the name at the end and I said, oh, June Foray. Wow, isn't she amazing? She does every female voice. You know, she's Rocky the Flying Squirrel and blah, 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 blah. My parents were, your uncle knows her. Bert, don't you know June Foray? No, yeah, I know June. Can I meet her? Oh, sure. So anyway. So I knew June since I was, I met her when I was like 15, I guess. And I had my first audition that turned into a job when I was 17. Wow. So now it's been nearly a half century in the show business.
You've done so much, man. Like I said in the beginning, if I was to just name off like everything you've been in and been a part of, we'd be here for like at least 30 minutes. I gotta tell you, man, when I was looking through your IMDb and stuff like that, my finger was getting tired.
Well,
because I kept scrolling.
Well, I figured out when I started to, work regularly in the business, but still I didn't, it's hard to make a good living with just characters. And I wanted to be one of those network guys, but I don't have that grand and glorious voice and vocal signature. I just play characters. I can make my voice sound, like just about anything, but so I figured I better just do a little of everything to keep a roof over my head. and I ended up doing an awful lot of promo and branding and stuff. I was the voice of NBC 2000, as they called it.
Did you do the voice of the Oscars?
NBC. I did the voice of the Oscar for John Lasseter's special Oscar, for Pixar's special Oscar. Yeah.
That's so cool. I thought you did it I thought you did the voice of the Oscars like all the time. Like that was just
No. I always wanted that gig until I reached a point where it was within reach, and then friends of mine had gotten the gig, and it's like, I really don't want to do that. It's not a good job. It's terrible. It's really tough. It's really hard.
I was speaking to Neil Ross, and he had a book, and he talked about doing the I talked to Neil about it. I thought Neil was fabulous. God, he was good. He was one of the best. And you were going to say what probably I'm going to say. He was like, yeah, it's not that much fun. Yes.
Hard work.
Yeah, I could imagine. That is a tough gig. Well, while I was researching, hold on, let me turn the lights on. It's kind of dark.
Yeah.
That looks so much better. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've done quite a few interviews, and I've turned down many because I end up just saying the same things, and a lot of interviewers they ask the superficial questions, the generic questions, and I don't think that's very interesting, and I've already done that. But I checked out your interviews. You're a real pro. I mean, you really do your research, and you know everything about what I've done, and you know how the business works, and what we folks are like.
That's not to cut you, but I'm sorry. It's just I'm shocked by that. But just the whole goal of my interviews personally is because, like you said, I want to do something so different for people who are a part of this. I want to make this a unique experience for you, because like you say, you know, tons of people do interviews all the time. I mean, some of the people I talk to do interviews religiously and regularly to promote shows, and I want to make it different. I want to make it enjoyable. I want you to feel like I care, because sometimes, and this isn't calling out anyone, but sometimes I feel like a lot of these people who do interviews or journalists who do this do it just because they're told to do it, and they don't really have passion. They don't really know who these people are. They don't really care.
You know, when I did the press stuff where they have you in a hotel room thing, and you know, one interviewer after another comes into the room, and you know, they ask boring questions, and it's funny. There was one. He's a LA-based showbiz interviewer guy, and I was so put off. That was really kind of gave me a bad taste. He was slightly interested in Claudia Christian because she was in Battlestar Galactica, was it? Or
I think it was. Yeah.
Or the other sci-fi series. Anyway, but at least she had an on-camera presence. She was a celebrity. Well, he didn't want to talk to me at all. That was clear. He was making faces and Claudia, who is really, she's great, God, and she kept like throwing questions to me. You know, he'd ask her. She said, "Oh well, you know, I've done a lot of stuff, and this is one of my first big voice jobs, but this guy here, you know." Whatever. And he's like, "Oh yes, I see. Yes, well that's interesting. And they pay you well, okay." You know.
That sounds awful, man. That's exactly what I don't want to do. I want to be enthusiastic. I want you to know that I care, that I did the research. You know. That's
yeah. I mean, one of the best panel interview things I ever did was just an absolute delight. It was Disney World. It was I don't know, before D23.
Okay,
it was long before that, and it was Leonard Maltin, and I was a fan of Leonard's. He was a great film buff, historian, and interviewer, and I introduced myself to him before the bit, and I said, "I don't know if you know who I." "Oh yes, you did this and this and this and this. You did the Hans Conried voice, and in fact, in 19 whatever, you did this thing. Now I thought you really did a great job on this performance, and I love that line. You know, it's like, oh my God, he really knows everything, and what a great guy." Leonard Maltin's a great guy. But anyway, and you have that same professionalism and intense interest and understanding, and you make it into a delightful conversation where people really get insight. And it's not just, hey, here's your favorite star. Isn't this a thrill? You know, like, well, I'm not a thrilling person. I'm I'm an oddball. I think I'm good at making people laugh. I have a strange angle on everything, but mainly I just love climbing into characters and hopefully bringing, you know, like Walt Disney said, you know, bring a tear, a smile, and it's amazing. So, you know, I get notes and letters and comments where some silly cartoon character piece I did, ages ago. They'll say, I am now, a metaphysical scientist, or not metaphysical. That's not exactly science. But you know what I mean. I'm an astrophysicist because of you, because you played this character or whatever. Because this, or I'm a doctor because of that, or I'm a whatever. I'm a writer. I'm an actor. I'm anything that something in a cartoon inspired them. Oh, I was going to say I have so many stories that I repeat constantly. Yeah, you told me that 50 times already. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm old. And old showbiz people, we like our stories. We like to tell stories from the old days.
I love them more.
It was grand. Anyway, but when I was in high school, myself and a buddy who also was interested in doing character voices and audio production. We got a gig with the school. We befriended the school PA announcement guy, and he said, "Hey, will you guys do like commercials for the Glee Club and the this class, this club, this I'll get an student activity card." And so we did these funny commercials, and we had a friend of ours who was a really funny writer. He could only write. He typed with one finger, which was excruciating. But he could only write
one finger.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't learn how to type, so he just hunt and peck. So, but his stuff was very funny. But then he had a terrible stuttering problem. And so he said, so you're the surgeon in this scene, and you're the guy on the operating table, and you say you go, what, sit down, don't help me, he would always say, oh, it's like a half an hour for him to anyway. But yeah, he wrote these great stories. So anyway, so people didn't really. I mean, neither of us was sociable. We were both misfits, geeks, nerds, whatever. But yeah. And so in our PE class. Of course, we had corrective PE because that was the way to get out of actually doing, like the sports kind of stuff, which everyone would just get angry with me because I'm inept, You're uncoordinated, whatever. I said, I don't care. I'm not interested. I can't do this. But anyway, so we, so there was, PE was not one of my, brainy kids classes, of course, everyone. So, and there was a group of these tough, these days, maybe they would have been gang guys or whatever. I don't know. They were the tough guys. They were
the jocks, right?
They weren't actually the jocks, not the arrogant jocks, but the an old expression, roughnecks, tough guys,
Yeah, gotcha.
Who probably may have already had some scrapes with the law, and one of these guys, he walked up to me, and I thought, what did I do? Was I looking like too much of a dweeb or a geek? Did I do something embarrassing and he's gonna now punch me in the face or something? I didn't know. And And he walks up to me with this hard look, and he grabs me by the t-shirt, and he said, you're the guy that does the voices, right? So you do Bullwinkle. Yeah, that's right. He said, do Bullwinkle for me. Is that okay? I said, yeah. Today we have a special guest, Mr. Peter Piker. Mr. Piker is a star of the well-known famous poem, Peter Piker picked a peck of pimple peppers. That's pimple. Yeah, that's what I said, pimple. Yeah. Anyway, so, and then the guy he turned into like a 3-year-old kid. His face just melted into this sweet delight. And then he said, hey guys. And he went to his tough gang and he said, this is a guy, this one. And so they asked for different cartoon voices, and they all just gathered around and were like, oh, and he said, look, anybody gives you a hard time, you call us, So we want to keep you safe. And that was when I learned, it's like, yes, the toughest reprobates, whatever, the toughest, most damaged, angriest, confused, lost souls, you can always touch them with a great character, especially something that they've known from their childhood. So we don't just do funny voices. Oh, that's the other thing too. And probably other voice actors have said the same thing, or performers. That was the first lesson of Daws Butler's workshop. Somebody said, how many voices do you do? They're not voices, they're characters. He said, I may only do maybe really 6 voices in all, but I've done thousands of characters, because each character is an individual. And then, in radio, there were incredible radio actors. One of the greatest was a woman who did the voice of the mother, in Psycho. It was Virginia Gregg. She was also on camera. She was in a lot of TV shows on camera, but she was the greatest radio voice actress, because Virginia didn't change her voice. But she could play 4 characters in a scene, and you heard 4 people. You heard 4 separate people talking to each other. She was remarkable. And that's something I'm not as good at.
That's a lie, though. You're so good at it, though.
D. Bradley Baker, that guy, he does all the clones in Clone Wars.
I was going to ask,
they're all the same voice.
Is that a clone trooper helmet behind you?
Yeah, that's a little goodie they gave us. Let's see. Is it on camera? I'm not used to doing things on camera. I don't like to be seen much. There we go. Yeah, that was a little Lucasfilm gift.
For when they saved the Clone Wars.
Yeah. Well, for our series, and
we're getting into that.
I'm still working with Dave Filoni. I'm not allowed to tell you what I've been working on,
of course,
but it's very exciting.
So good.
Yeah. Anyway,
but this was.
I know I've taken you on so many sidetracks, and didn't give you enough chances to really do do a real real interview. So go right ahead, lead me down the path, and I'll try to be a proper interview subject. As you can tell, I always tell people, if you have to do something, just cut me off. Just hang up on me. Just say, I gotta go. I'm never offended. Because it's the Asperger's thing, it's show business, it's getting older, I don't know. And if I'm talking about things I love, I just keep going on and on and on and on and on and on. What was I talking about?
No, I love it, Corey. No, seriously, I really, truly love that. I love history and I love learning about this business so much. I'm intrigued for every facet of this business. I especially love voice actors such as yourself because that is such a cool thing to me. I just love it. So, no, go ahead. I love hearing your stories. I mean,
well, we are the people, we're those flies on the wall of show business. It's like people, it's some friends of mine who aren't in show business, they can't stand like going to a movie with me because every 2.5 minutes I know him, oh god, look at that. We're just watching Dexter, the new blood, and it's Clancy Brown has a fantastic role, and it's like, Clancy, my buddy, oh, I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud to know him. Man, is he good in that role. I mean, I know how good he is, but he doesn't usually get, I mean, he always plays the villains and stuff. Of course, the
Lex Luthor.
Yeah. The guy that
press on the Clone Wars. And
yeah. And he and I, we're instant best buddies because, we are in Justice League. Brainiac and Lex Luthor
combined in one episode.
Yeah, and that was like, I don't know, maybe the third time we worked together. So I don't know. It was early on, and we just, I mean, really, from the moment we met, we just bonded. We just like, because he's tuned into all the old radio stuff and just being a character actor and the craft and again, as you were saying about actors and egos and stuff, Clancy has no ego at all.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. And I so love working with him. I hope I get to work with him again sometime. I mean, now after this role in Dexter, I think he's going to be.
He's in the new John Wick movies. I don't know if you watched those, but he's in the newest ones.
I haven't watched them, but I mean, he's everywhere. Everybody wants to work with Clancy, but especially if you need a heavy. But I like the character in Dexter is he's playing a character that's closer to himself falsely as just a gentle giant, just a dear, very sophisticated, very kind and loving human being, and of course the menacing heavy, the evil.
Clancy is great. That's another guy I'd love to speak to one day. But as I was researching, this was pretty cool to me because I had no idea about that. But me, I'm a massive Transformers fan. As we get more into the Transformers talk, I'm going to pull out some things I have from the show. Yeah. And I found this out, which is very interesting. You were given an audition for the 2007 Transformers live action movie, but you turned it down. Why'd you do that?
They weren't interested in Shockwave, which was the only character I really loved. They, as a performer, I mean, it was just one line, and my character was Brawn, which was based on William Conrad, but they made him, what was it? It wasn't Brawn. They changed the name. Brawl. I was like,
yeah.
And I have to go to West LA and audition to do this? No. No, I don't want that. Why?
You know? Have you seen a live action movie?
And I was busy and tired. I was doing so much stuff. It's like I don't need that.
Have you seen the live action ones?
A little bit.
We're gonna get.
They don't do it for me. No, they don't do it for me. Actually, I mean, you know, if you've talked to other Transformers, original Transformers cast members, it was a very trying time working on that series with Wally. We loved Wally, but he was. He was tough. A tough man to work with. It's funny because within the space of 2 seconds, he was the greatest guy in the world, and then it's like, okay, now do this line. And you would do it. No, that's wrong. You stink. Just do it again. No, that sucks. No, you're not listening to me. And we would spend an hour on one line. I was like, Wally, ugh. And then afterwards, so see, that wasn't so hard. I was like, yeah, it was. Wally, why do you do that? Why? Oh, you know, I have a thing in my head, and I have you guys. You just don't get it sometimes, and I really have to hammer. No, you don't.
There's a way to do it, right? Yeah, there's a way to go about bringing it.
Yeah. But you know, rest in peace. I mean, that was the sad thing is we all got just so exhausted from him, and it was such a chore, and yet we all had affection for him, and he really loved us. He really did. And it's just that, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of directors that feel they have to intimidate and bully and trick you into giving a good performance. It's like, no, that's the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know, and it's funny because usually, like, especially on a commercial, but you know, cartoons as well, the best take is always when they say, just do whatever you want. Just do what feels right to you. It's like, oh, and then you just do what the character would do, and hey, that's perfect. I'm like, yeah. Well.
Did you hear about the story, to go back to the audition, of course, did you hear that Peter Cullen had to audition 3 times just to get the role of Optimus Prime?
Yeah, that's why I didn't go auditions. They made Peter audition. They made Pete Cullen audition. Why? Yeah, maybe he doesn't sound like he is. Oh, God.
Michael Bay has...
stupid.
Michael Bay has gone on record. I think he said he wants real actors, not voice actors, insinuating that you guys are not real actors.
Yeah. That was probably another reason. I won't work with anybody who says, I won't swear. Stuff like that.
Right.
Believe me, I have a few choice words. But no, that attitude, there's nothing more offensive you can do than ask a voice actor, a character voice actor especially, say, oh, do you also act? Really? And what is this?
Right. Very disrespectful. I was surprised.
It shows that they have no respect nor understanding nor interest in I mean, you know, the voice is in as far as dialogue goes, is the most important part of acting. The rest is pantomime. Yeah,
I was so surprised when they didn't cast Frank Welker as Megatron for the first three. They gave it to Hugo Weaving, and Hugo Weaving went on the record and said that he absolutely hated doing Megatron. He just did it for the money. And to think that Frank Welker has so much love still for this character to this day, he would have done perfect. And just for them to not give it to Frank is like weird to me, because you could give it to the guy who, because since that point, you guys hadn't voiced the Transformers. Well, you did it in 1985, 86, 2007. So there were like, there's a 20-year gap in between.
Yeah. No, in fact, I mean, they wanted to change the concept. I was kind of mystified as to you know, why I ended up doing Megatron in the later series. But you know, the later series was there we go. The later series was kind of a goof on the original series anyway, and you know, it was all for laughs. It was all fun. That was fun. Boy, we had fun on that show.
One of your friends, David K, wanted me to tell you hi and that he had so much fun working with you on that show.
Likewise. And David, he's so good, and he would always say, "Oh, geez, perfect Canadian gentleman, you know." He says, "Oh, I just can't. You're just so far above, my talents." And I was like, "Are you kidding, David? You're really good. He's really good." Although I was a little jealous of him because he got the great announcer bit. No, I mean, I can't say jealous. It's just like, oh, that would have been fun. I would have enjoyed that. He's the stiff
sports announcer for Fox.
I don't even know about. No, he's the humorless stuffed shirt announcer for John Oliver. You know.
Yes. That's
and now this. And he's perfect. He does such a beautiful job, but he always does a great job.
He was in the new Eternals movie as this like red giant celestial, and he was like big and red, and he looked so cool, and his voice like projected. It was so cool. I love that role that he did.
He's just a very versatile, talented actor, and one of the kindest, most generous people I know. I haven't worked with him in a while. I haven't seen him in a long time. Well, actually, I haven't worked with hardly anybody in person in a long time. It's all here. It's all here. There's all my microphones.
Jesus, that's a lot.
There's a dozen right here. I got ribbon mics and dynamic mics and a lot of classics. And I've even got one that's like the one I'm using here. I have the original version.
Oh my God.
This is a KU3A or 10,001 RCA 10,001B. This was from, I think, 20th Century Fox Studio. And see, it has the white stripe on the back, so you know when it's on a boom that's the dead part of the microphone, because it's a directional ribbon microphone, which was unusual. And they were made just for dialogue for movies. And this is the sound of all of the great classic Disney films. It's they had that magical flavor. It's this microphone and the optical sound processing that they did gave it this flavor, and the studio where I just worked there, actually, a B stage. I don't know. Yeah, I can talk about that. Yeah, I can talk about that because that's been in the press. I did a couple of lines as Dale for the Rescue Rangers movie.
I was watching an interview and you were like, that character takes so much energy out of you that
it does.
You can't really like do him for like a full like movie like that. Like that's like
yeah. I was gonna retire from it, but I've ended up doing well, because you know they I mean they know, and they don't have those big laughing jags and long stretches of dialogue like we used to do. But yeah, I work all the time with Kelly Ward on the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, Mickey Mouse Funhouse, Mickey Mouse Roadster Racers, whatever. All of those preschool shows, and so and they even had some shorts we did, Chip and Dale's Nutty Adventures. So yeah, I'm still doing Dale, and yeah, no, I mean if they keep the laughs. Or the really loud stuff for the end. Yeah, I can go 10 minutes. But well, the thing that, we had to do a session once, a video game thing from Microsoft. This was years ago, and Tress and we both looked at each other and said, that's it. We're not doing this anymore. They had us going for like 3-4 hours, you know. And then in fact, the engineer saved our butts because he said, okay, well, we still have about 20 minutes left. Let's redo some of those lines, you know. And somebody who never should have been directing something like that. But anyway, and engineer Randy Coppinger slammed down on the talkback and he said, oh, no, you have those lines. Anything else? You know, you got 50 takes of those, you know. That's not right. You know.
Transformers is huge, and we're gonna get back to it later because I want to watch a clip with you from.
Oh yeah.
You said that Shockwave, they didn't do Shockwave in the first one, which is crazy to me because they went back and they did him in the movie, not the Bumblebee movie, which. Of course, John Bailey mimicked for you. I'm interested though in that. Why did you not come back for the Bumblebee one? Did they even ask you to come and do Shockwave for the Bumblebee?
I don't remember if they asked. Okay. But perfect, but you know, man. It's this. Okay, waste your whole day, drive to Santa Monica, wait around. Have a bunch of, you know, studio executives look over you like, are you a professional? Are you a real actor? You know, okay, prove that you can do the voice that we want everybody to sound like. It's like, you know what, go... yeah. Oh, yeah. Tony Hendra, was it? Hendra and Ullett from National Lampoon once was described by somebody else. I don't remember who was telling a story. Said, told the producer to go ye forth and multiply in not so many words. And that's what I have to say to that. It's like, do you want me or not?
Simple.
What? Simple. What? You think I can't do it anymore? Well, then too bad. Yes, I can do it. My voice hasn't changed. Yeah, I've gotten more range. Maybe I can't quite do the teenagers with great fidelity like when I was in my 20s and 30s, but and you know, I got a lot better low range. But I was playing old wizard characters when I was 17 years old, 18 years old, whatever.
Respect. People gotta start respecting people who do this. So I'm gonna, I guess I'll show it now. I'm going to show what they did with Shockwave in the live action. The first one, The Dark of the Moon, it was the first time we saw Shockwave. Before I show it though, who do you think voiced Shockwave in that movie?
I don't know. I've always said it should be David Warner because I based the voice on David Warner because I had done a sound-alike. I did the David Warner master control program for the first dialogue chip arcade game, video game, the Tron game. So they had me come in and do David Warner. Master Control Program has chosen you to serve your system on the game grid. I love David Warner. I ended up working with him. And oh my God, David Warner, what a lovely gentleman. He complimented me so much. And it was funny. It was a terrible session for me. Because I was playing a character who was supposed to sound like Eric Idle. I don't do Eric Idle. But I did this sort of London voice, and oh, your accent was perfect. You sounded just like a Londoner. I said, oh, that's so kind of you. I can't tell you how flattered I am. Working with. I think you're one of the finest actors of all time. Oh dear, you're very kind.
I love it.
What a lovely man. Anyway, so and like I said, I haven't had any interest in the films.
I completely get it. So I just want to get your reaction to what they did with the Shockwave. So I have the clips a little. Can you see it?
Yeah. I'm wearing my progressive glasses, and I have to tilt my head up. To see at this distance. I need a new prescription.
So they gave Shockwave like a pet drill. That's his drill. They gave him like a mechanical worm, and Optimus just. Alright, so Shockwave is about to appear right here. There he is.
Optimus. It's Frank.
Again. Whoa, wait. Hold on.
Is it Frank?
Yes, it is. What the heck? That's Frank Welker.
Yeah, of course. Hi, Frank. Talk about the sweetest, kindest gentleman of all time. And as I always say, I say it to his face, and he just blushes and oh, stop it. So a human miracle. Frank is miraculously talented. He's just stunning and just the kindest, most generous man on earth. There's just I can't. There aren't words to describe what a good person he is, and everybody knows the talent is a miracle. Is astonishing.
That is so cool. Because I was like, all right, now I'm going to tell him. And I was going to tell him right after this clip who did it. And they were like, oh, that's Frank Walker. I was like, because I know y'all work together. But
it's like hearing the voice of your brother, your father, your best buddy. It's like, yeah, Frank. Hi, Frank. But, as I was saying about show business, especially as a voice actor, because we're behind the scenes people. But we work with a lot of celebrities too. Sooner or later, especially after 5 decades, you know everyone. You know everyone. people say about this person or that person. Oh yeah, I know what they're really like or whatever. And most, most of them, even some big stars. Actually, the biggest stars usually are actually really nice, really lovely. It's the sort of not terribly talented like TV stars or soap opera people or whatever that. Like that Hollywood thing. No, I need this water is 3 degrees too warm. Get me another one. Like, oh, get out. Why are you paying this person?
Well, what do you think about the design of Shockwave in this film?
It's pretty nice, but I liked the
original.
Well, I liked the Transformers animated Shockwave design.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good
which
one.
Was that sort of Gort thing with the one eye thing.
Yes. That's another good one. I love that one.
Because I think of Shockwave as he's the old he's out on his lonely outpost. I always just thought of him as this ancient, almost crypt keeper kind of librarian, keeper of the data,
Yeah.
And in his lonely outpost. That's the way I always played him,
I was
ethereal.
I was researching clips of Shockwave, and I found out that he was barely in the show, which was like what? Because from what I remember,
I know. I was always annoyed. It's like no Shockwave this week. Oh well.
Right, and you played so many, like I said, Brawn, Alpha Trion, and tons of others. Which
I remember it was the Junkyard character was fun. I don't remember his name.
Brawn, maybe?
No. It was a Junkion or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
so
you were
many.
Junkion. That's so cool.
Something. I don't know. It was it was a crazy character. But and it's funny though. But I mean, looking back after all these years, and there's so many, successful, sophisticated, full-grown adults that were inspired and are big fans of, from the original Transformers series. That I listened again to the tracks and the stories and stuff. And I guess old Wally knew what he was doing, and the writers and everything. Yeah, I guess it really did have something to it.
Absolutely.
But from our end as a laborer, it's kind of like somebody that had a was a construction crew member for the Empire State Building. It's like, yeah, I guess it is a great building, but that was not a fun job.
Right? Yeah. I completely understand.
But then again, too, that's I don't know if that has to do with the Asperger's or if it's just my limited attention span. As I've just explained again and again to friends of mine, say, "Oh, watch this show," and I have to tell them, it's like, there's too many characters. I can't follow it. I'm sorry. It's like the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings. It's like too many characters. I tried to read the Hobbit as a teenager, and I opened the book, and after 3 pages, oh no, I'm lost. No way.
Yeah.
I have to learn a whole language. I have to learn. No, what character is that again? Looking back again, page 1. Wait, no, this character is this, and this is forget it. I can't follow it. I have very one-track mind. I'm very you
can't multitask like that. I can't either. It's fine. I can't really.
No. It's all toggle.
Right.
It's like yeah, I can switch characters. I can play 2 characters at the same time easily. I used to do Hook and Smee together.
Wow. I know Jeff Bennett usually does Smee.
Yeah. Well, that happened when they had the first what is it? Return to Neverland or Back to Neverland movie, where and they didn't want to have one actor. Oh, we can tell it's the same actor. Yeah, right. No, you can't. But I didn't want to argue about it, and I never thought I did a great Smee anyway. It was the great Bill Thompson, who had this fluffy, fizzy voice, and he did a lot of these cheeky characters. Now I've done Droopy. I do a good Droopy. Hello, folks. I'm so sad. And I do it without having to do that because I have little areas in my mouth I can just throw my voice into a corner. Anyway, but Smee, well, it was a high thing, and I could never get the texture right. Never was happy with it. And I always thought, Jim Cummings has got that quality. Jim could do that. And I don't know if Jim was never interested or they were never interested in him playing that character. I don't know. But they cast Jeff. I love Jeff. And oh boy, is that fun working with Jeff. Oh, I so missed that. Jake and the Neverland Pirates was one of the great joys of all time for both me and Jeff, and the writers and the director. Oh God, because they wrote these old like vaudeville, as Kelly Ward, the director, called the set pieces, and just it's like Laurel and Hardy. Although I never liked Abbott and Costello, but that kind of thing, this comedy team, with the big bully and the simpering wimpy assistant, his and oh my God, and Jeff would ad lib. I'm not as good an ad libber, but we would just play off each other, and oh my God. This was us recording the line, Smee, why didn't you do and I would do my line, and then Jeff would, well, okay, it's just because and if you looked at me, I would I'd be on the microphone, and then I had such a hard time not laughing out loud. Jeff cracked me up so much. Oh my God, he's funny.
Wow, Jeff's another one that's done a lot. I know he was in
fabulous talent, and again, generous, kind, just a beautiful human being. Yeah. No, I mean, I often say, it sounds conceited, but it's just a fact that the cartoon voice people in Hollywood are some of the greatest human beings on earth. We are smart, we're funny, and we're nice. We're good, kind people. We care, and we just want to do good work. None of us give a damn about being a big star or whatever. You know, I don't care. I don't want it. You know, in fact, you know, these days, geez, you know, your name is famous, especially with Star Wars and you know, Transformers and Disney.
DC. Let's not even get into some DC stuff.
Oh,
now.
I know. Yeah. I know. I'm working on something now, and I can't talk about it.
Of course you can't.
I wish I could.
It's too cool. Sorry to cut you off, but I just think it's
incredible.
So awesome that you're still actively in this industry, still doing your thing day in and day out, and still working and making characters and bringing them to life and helping create new stories. Oh, I love it.
It's funny. The grouchier and the more the more selective I get, the more they want me. That's the old thing. It's like, I don't know. Oh, they really want you. Do I have to go somewhere? Can I just connect to my ISDN line? You know. Yeah, they'll do that. Oh, okay. Who am I working with again? Oh, him. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll do that. That's fun. So I just looked at the script and it's like, I don't know, it's a crappy script. Can I rewrite it? Yeah, whatever you want. Okay. I end up rewriting half of the stuff because
I'm crying.
But you know, I mean, for many years I was doing all these promo gigs, and I was
the voice of Robert Rodriguez trailers things too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Robert, that started a whole side industry for me. I was the voice of his El Rey network, but there's no more El Rey network now. I didn't think it would last, but it was fun. El Rey network, doing my Adolf Caesar thing, various versions of it. But yeah, I've worked with Robert recently, and
I'm pretty sure he's working on. Isn't he? He's the director of the new Boba Fett TV show coming out next week, so he's doing that.
Yes, he is. I can say yes, he is. Like I said, I can only say so much, or they sue me.
The NDAs are killer.
But I loved Mark Hamill on I forgot what talk show he was on, where he said something about the upcoming appearance in a Star Wars movie. And Mark, who I've known since Empire Strikes Back,
right? Because that's another.
Mark, do you know Mark? Yeah.
I haven't spoken to him, but personally, but no, I recently found this out was that you were in Empire Strikes Back. Actually, you were doing some lines, and one of your lines. I did
two characters, ADR dubbing. There's like 5 lines altogether, and there's only one line that ended up in the movie.
And that line,
and it's funny because the character, I've been hit, and the character that I did actually, he has another line, but the other line was done by, I'm pretty sure it was Rob Clotworthy.
And that's how you met Mark Hamill, right?
Yeah. In the lobby at the time it was Goldwyn Studios, and we were instant pals at the time. Well, at the time I was Luke Skywalker for Disney Storyteller Records.
Yep.
And I said, I'm a voice actor, a radio actor. And I was with my voice actor friend, Tony Pope, the late Tony Pope. And of course, he does your voice for the storyteller. I said, yeah. Is that okay? Let me hear it. Yeah. It's Darth Vader, and he's right on my tail. Whatever. So, oh yeah, that does sound like me. And Tony happened to have a copy of the little storyteller record in his trunk, and but anyway, I said to Mark, guys, that this is what I do. I'm just a voice actor. I don't. And he said, I really love voice acting, but my agent, he won't let me do it. He's everything's gotta be this big star stuff on camera, and I like radio acting. And of course, he ended up being the Joker or whatever. Funny thing, but Mark, is another one of those just great people. He's just a great person. I love Mark Hamill. And I mean, years after I met him, a couple of years after I first met him, I ran into him at an audition. I was like standing on the stairs looking over the audition, and Mark was coming up the stairs, and he, Corey Burton, I saw your name on a documentary. That was you? That was a great job you did. And then well, Mark is like me. Blah 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 blah. Just you can't shut us up. And boy, together, people say, "Could you go in the other room? People are recording. You're making too much noise."
Mark Hamill, that's a great one. But I want to.
Yeah, but I just naturally sound like Mark. That's what I based Spike Witwicky was based on Luke Skywalker.
Really? That's so cool.
Yeah, because I was already about 30. I don't know how old I was. I don't remember. And that was my teenage character. It was basically me. But I mean, I kind of sound like Mark anyway. Mark he has this thing. He's just a little bit more forward in the mouth, and he's very expressive. He's a stage actor at heart, and he always projects. He's a little bigger than life. But so it's easy. But I always, it's funny. People used to just trash Mark Hamill. Yeah. He got lucky. He's not a good actor. Are you kidding me? Just in A New Hope, his delivery of those really tricky lines. I know Lucas scripts are always deceptively simple. And that you have to be a good actor to make those lines magic, and he did. And he was, always moving. I was so inspired and moved by Luke Skywalker. He's always been a hero to me.
I'm so glad you got to meet him. That's so
he's
cool.
my buddy. He's my old buddy now. And we've competed back and forth for jobs. I've stolen jobs from him. He's stolen jobs from me. So way in Atlantis, it was right up to the wire between Mark and I for Molière, Molière, the French character.
You can still do the voice. I love that. You can still do the voice, because that was one thing I was going to ask. You still do.
It's just that's based on that scratchy thing. That thing that I part of my. There's another story about me that I've told too many times probably, but I was once challenged. I did a dubbing thing for a commercial for Britannia jeans. I dubbed a French kid character, and Yeah, my home is in Paris, but I live in Britannia. Anyway, so another actor said, no, that's my voice. I should get the residuals for that commercial. No, that's me, And so they had me go to UCLA in the speech pathology lab, and I was voice printed by a guy named Professor Peter Ladefoged, who was he was like a Tony J character. You familiar with Tony J?
Yes.
Tony J, who I knew very well. One of the few people that actually liked Tony as a person.
Really? Wow, he's done a lot, isn't he? He's Shia Khan, and then I know him as Magneto from the X-Men video games.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Immensely talented actor. But that's why people didn't like him, because he wouldn't let you forget it. Of course, I was magnificent. And people would go, oh, he's disgusting. I can't stand him, that ego. I said, yeah, but it's true. Yeah, but he doesn't have to say it. Well. Anyway.
It is what it is, right?
but yeah, so Professor Ladefoged voice printed me delivering that line, and to match it with the commercial. So, of course, the challenger didn't win the lawsuit. Take my residuals away. Anyway, so that's really interesting. You pulled the thing off. If you've ever seen a voice print, it's this cylinder thing, and it draws these blobs. It's like a there we go, like a electrocardiogram thing, and it breaks up the voice into components, into a voice print. Like anybody would have ever told me. Did anybody ever tell you have a very interesting voice print? I've never seen anything like it. Really? I have a very bland voice. Young man, this is extraordinary, really. Says, look, you've got 5 voice prints. So now, many people have 2. Some have 3, maybe. But I've never seen 5. So look, you've got 3 primary voices, and then you've got 2 on the outer edges. Oh, so that's why. So my voice has, 5 different flavors in it, 5 different colors, and that's why together, well, you mix all the colors together, you get gray or beige. And so my speaking voice is beige, but I just tilt it a little bit one way or another, and it becomes a different person.
Hanging up there.
And whatever. Whatever, different vocal placements. That's Daws Butler taught us about vocal placement. Where the voice comes from. So, says like Elroy Jetson. He said, oh yeah, Elroy Jetson is placed just behind the eyes.
And so, it's Elroy.
My voice is a little thick for Elroy. Always was. And then, and you go down, into the nose.
And
whatever. And then, you go forward in the mouth. Like I say, like Mark Hamill is very forward in the mouth. And then you have very, set back in the mouth. Go down in the throat. You have those throaty voices. And Dudley Do-Right of the Mounties. Yes, Inspector Fenwick. Oh! And then you go down in the chest. You get that chest placement. And then down in the diaphragm. And that's like when I'm doing Count
Dooku.
like a Shakespeare, yeah, like so that has this Basil Rathbone, sort of bulbous, big, prominent nose. Prominent men have always had prominent noses. So instead of doing this to my nose or covering a nostril to get that nasal resonance, I just twist my face a little, and it gets this full nasal sound. And that's why I don't let them say, "Oh yeah, we need to put the dots on your face and we'll do a motion capture." I said, No. You get an actor to do that who does visual acting. I'm doing the voice. I'm a radio actor. And,
that's interesting. So,
and my face is not going to match the character. It's not. I'm doing other techniques.
Things right.
So for the ear, not for the eye.
For Count Dooku, you were in the newest version of Star Wars Battlefront 2. Did they want you to do anything like mocap wise for him in that one? Or was it always you just do the voice?
Oh, you mean
hold on, I'll show it to you. I haven't pulled it up here because I wanted to watch where is it? Here it is. Alright, so now I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about.
Hello there. Ben Franball from the Star Wars.
Oh, that's a game. Yes.
Did they want you to do mocap for this guy?
No.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure.
No. They do. They will always run video. Just for ref for. So there is so that the animators can follow your postures, your body movements, maybe your mouth or whatever. But full mocap, no. They wanted to do it for God of War.
As Zeus, right? You played Zeus. Yeah.
Yeah. I had some major disagreements with the direction and the whole motion capture thing. Like I said,
I'm interested on the direction thing because for Zeus, let me pause that. For Zeus, and you've played Zeus for Disney, of course, as the more Aladdin like friendly, but
I played Zeus a lot. I play a lot of gods and monsters, and
did you lose your?
I played Jesus a lot. I'm a very good Jesus. A Jew kid from the San Fernando Valley. I'm not religious, but
for
whatever.
For God of War, that character is very much like big and loud and just like chest up. Have you ever? Did you have difficulties was there ever a time when you were like, okay, we have to take a break, like doing the voice because it's like really big and you've been?
Yeah. No, that was the sticking point, and I almost walked out. Actually, it was those first couple of sessions were directed by. I shouldn't speak ill of the dead, but the late Gordon Hunt. But I never got along with him. And his direction, I just felt, you're wrong. You're just wrong. He said, so you're talking to Kratos. I forget everything. I've done so many jobs, so many characters. Anyway, T.C. Carson.
Have you got to meet TC?
He's great. God, what a wonderful person to talent. Oh, anyway. I know so many great people. Like I said, these. Anyway, so, but and it reminded me of the late great Roger C. Carmel, who had a big fight with Wally Burr about.
I know exactly who that is. The voice of Bruticus, the voice of those of Quaid.
Yeah. Well, I know him from when I was a kid in Star Trek. As
I didn't know that. Wow.
Harry Mudd, anyone, because he was just fantastic, So, talk about a bigger than life person, and he was that way in real life. Roger was insane. He was insane, Roger. Yes, he was just he was a bull in a china shop. But anyway, but incredibly talented and hilarious. And but yeah, I remember because he was doing well. Oh, jeez, was it Omicron? Was that the name of the voice that that Roger did in the Transformers movie? That was before. No, because that would have been Orson Welles.
Unicron.
No, well, I don't remember. Anyway.
It was Unicron because Orson Welles. That was his last performance. Was actually as Unicron
yeah. But Roger was doing something like that character, or maybe it was not the movie. Maybe it was something else.
Now I'm interested.
And Wally said, Roger, you gotta project a little more. Project. I'm doing the voice of a 10-story building, and you need me to be louder. And that's what I thought about Zeus, because I'm a little guy. I am a low baritone. I'm not a bass. I'm not loud. I'm not. My voice is not that loud because it's kind of, whatever. I work close up to the mic. I take advantage of. That's why I use so many different microphones, because I don't. I need that boost, that assistance to make my voice. In other words, I don't sound bigger than life in person. A lot of actors do, especially the old timers. You could be across the room from them, and they would speak quietly, and the walls would shake. But I'm not that. So anyway, they has me doing Zeus, which is based on the Christopher Lee sort of Shakespearean actor, and it's quiet. That's where I get the power from. And so the director kept saying,
Now, you're on one mountaintop and he's on another mountaintop, and so you got to be louder. You have to project.
I said, he's Zeus. He's king of the gods. The guy farts and a galaxy is wiped out. You need me to be louder? I can whisper. He's Zeus.
Yeah, but he won't be heard.
Bring the fader up. Stupid. That's stupid. It's like, and so what? So I start projecting. So I take this voice that sounds huge, quiet and close, and then I start projecting, and thins out. You can hear that I'm just a 5'6", former 120-pound kid. Now I'm considerably weightier in my old age, but still. And so that, in later, but they wanted me to do mocap, and I said nope. So for God of War 2 and then God of War 3, and then they said, well, can we do a little bit of video reference for the animators? Yeah, that's all right. And by then, they had a different director, and they let me downplay it a little bit more
for the more recent one, right?
But yeah, the
2018 one.
And then, did I even work on that one?
Yeah, you did. You worked on 2018 one. It wasn't massive though, so I could see I forget because it was literally like 2 minutes.
I think I did that. Well, I think video games, they take so long. I think I recorded it 2 years prior or something. It seems that there was something that came after where I finally said, "Yeah, I don't want to drive into Hollywood." At the time, I had the El Rey Network and what was the other regular promo gig? Well, I do WWE and This Week in Wrestling History. Well, now it's just occasional, but that used to be a pretty regular gig doing there. I do. It's a send up on the old NFL films. John Facenda. I know so little about, but and of course you find out that WWE, people, World Wrestling Entertainment, it's fun, and they are the sweetest, brightest, young, well, not so young anymore, producers. And promo producers and writers I've worked with, and they're just lovely people. Apparently, I'm not supposed to say this in public, but I don't care. Mr. McMahon, Vince McMahon, he's a pussycat. He's a nice man. He's supposed to be an a-hole. That's his character, and he's supposed to be an obnoxious, boorish bully of a man. Just, you're supposed to boo him. And people that work with him on promos, well, actually, I mean the WWE production, promos, and TV stuff is his daughter mostly. Is Stephanie, I think. I'm
pretty sure.
But anyway, he's involved with it, and he, I recently did a Santa thing for him. He said, "Oh, Vince loved your Santa. We want to do more Santa." But the people that have worked with him, they've been working with him for 25 years. If he was a horrible bully of a boss, they would have left years ago. But I've never heard anything but he's a nice guy. Of course he is. Show business.
But I want to talk a little bit about Star Wars. Your own stars, you're massive in stars. Of course, your Count Dooku, Cad Bane, Ziro The Hutt. You did a creature in the beginning of the Clone Wars movie. You did starts with an A. He talked to Obi-Wan in the beginning. He looked like a boar. He looked like a boar. I'm trying to think. I don't know his name, but I know it starts with an A. He looks like a boar type of thing. And he was in the beginning of the movie when Obi-Wan and him were like talking. He was like, "Oh yes, I'll have a seat with you." And then, well, I can't do a James Arnold Taylor, but I'll show me what he looks like, because it was like this boar, and he was a part of the Separatist Allegiance.
I did so many bit parts in Clone Wars, because Dave would just Dave would just say, "Yeah, I think this Corey Burton character. What do you got?" We even did I did a character. What was it? Was it a bartender or something? I don't remember what season it was. I did Sheldon Leonard, from It's a Wonderful Life. Hey, pal, and Sheldon Leonard ended up being a great producer of television programs. Sheldon Leonard, and I did, a senator or something, and we did another old character like Lionel Barrymore, something like that. I I think all these old voices from old movies and old radio shows.
Yes, and they're all so good. And your Count Dooku is phenomenal. I love what you do with Count Dooku. I honestly cannot, even though it's Christopher Lee's role, I just really can't envision anyone else doing him for animated and video game media.
Oh, well, thank you. That was again. That was that's fine. I've never met George, but
you've never met George?
No, he's shyer than I am. No, he would stay up in San Francisco and in the background, although apparently breathing down Dave Filoni's neck every single day, all day long, so no, all the characters. I mean, the word came out after like the second or third episode. Dave said, yeah, George wanted me to tell you all that. And this was before Disney bought. They had more movies, but he said, George said he's done making movies. This is it. You being the voices of the characters, you're the characters now. So James, you're Obi-Wan. I'm Dooku, and George said, "Don't imitate. Don't worry about imitating the character. Just play it as yourself. Just as you feel the character. It's yours now."
Have you seen the prequels?
You mean the theatrical films?
Yeah, Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones, and the Phantom Menace. Okay, cool.
Although I could never make it. I could never really make it through Phantom Menace. Sorry. I know there are people that like it.
That's the most common opinion.
I'm one of the haters. I just what a mess.
Did you like Attack of the Clones? Because that was the first time we saw Count Dooku.
It's all right. A little boring. It's too many characters for me, so I can't follow it.
Revenge of the Sith.
Pretty good.
Let's go.
Pretty good movie.
Hey, let's go.
Pretty good movie.
Yes.
I won't say anything bad about some of the scenes or whatever. Yeah, I'll just leave it at pretty good.
That was the first. That's when they killed Count Dooku, which was pretty bummed. I like Count Dooku a lot, and while you were talking, I was looking this up. You've voiced Count Dooku a number of 12 times. You have voiced him in 2017 Star Wars Battlefront 2. You voiced him in the next Star Wars video game.
I was doing for the game before Attack of the Clones even was released. I was recording. So you do Christopher Lee? Oh yeah. Christopher Lee is just a Shakespearean voice. It's just, yeah. I listen to it. Yeah.
Such a good. You do.
And I do them for Kingdom Hearts.
Yes, you do. Ansem the Wise, and that was a character that he did prior.
Right. And then there are so many of those Shakespearean actors. Funny, they're all the same vocal placement. They just that's the thing about same voice, different character. The Ansem
the Wise, and then there's Yon Sid.
Is the sorcerer of Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yes.
Yen Sid, yes. Yen Sid is the sorcerer. Yeah, see, Yen Sid, I do like a New York Shakespearean actor from 1929 is the way I play him. A Shakespearean stage actor, like John Barrymore. But it's that same kind of, that's a Shakespearean thing, the vocal placement and the melodramatic. There's the differences. So I make him a little cheesier. And then there's the face in the mirror. It's also the sort of slave in the mirror, they used to call it. Now I guess that's not correct. Even though that is for character. But yeah, and that there is an actual 1920s era Shakespearean New York actor who did it.
Right. But
Famed is thy. Tony J used to do the sound alike for that when he was alive in Disney's Phantasmic.
So cool.
It was Tony, and then Tony passed away, and so they gave it to me. But yeah, those three characters is like, okay, which one is this now? Okay, all right. I got to set all my dip switches for that character. It's like, how do I keep it separate from the other ones? You don't want to sound like the same guy.
And you don't have that problem at all. I swear you don't. When I was looking at your list, there were so many characters. I was like, there's no way this is Corey Burton. There's no way. Megatron is one of them. I had no idea. Ratchet, I didn't know you were Megatron in Transformers anime. I didn't know you were Ratchet.
The Megatron I borrowed from John Hurt. I love John Hurt, So I just did that sort of thing, I made him very dark and evil and theatrical. The typical stage villain, But
would you ever come back to Transformers? Because I've not heard.
Oh, if they ask me, sure.
Because I really like Corey. I swear, I miss your voice, man. In any Transformers media, I want to hear your Shockwave again.
They don't ask me, or if an audition goes out, it'll be a general audition. It's like, if you don't know who I am, then go ye forth and multiply.
I want to react to this clip with you. This is a panel that Peter Cullen and Frank Welker did, and it's sort of about the voice acting thing. And I just wanted to get your opinion on it. And since you've been in this industry for so long, and you've also worked with these people, like, what's your opinion on this?
Frank was one of my idols who was.
Seriously?
I sort of tried to follow in his footsteps in many ways. I mean, Frank is more, yeah.
Okay.
Frank has always been more of an effects, as they used to say, trick voice guy. Because that's what I always say, Frank, you're just the most amazing talent ever. He's like, no, you're a much better actor. And it's like,
take a compliment, man.
I'm all right. I'm a good actor. But Frank, you're just the greatest genius. I mean, Frank is like, okay, we need a monkey here. What kind? A capuchin? A chimp? How big is he? How old is the monkey? And he'd do 30 different monkeys, and they were all completely different. And he could say words, and he could. Oh my God, unbelievable.
But so I'm going to start the panel, and I just want to get your basic reaction on what these two are saying, because I'm very interested, like I said, as someone who's done this and has worked with both of these phenomenal men as well. I'm sure you have
Peter Cullen comes from radio, on radio on this in Canada. He's a radio actor on the CBC.
Right. All right. So here, he's phenomenal. I love Peter Cullen. So here's the panel.
Yeah, fabulous actor.
Can you hear it? If it's too low, hold on. I think
it's a little low.
Hi. You guys are excellent.
Can you hear it?
They're so iconic.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about other actors taking on that role and then trying to find with you guys?
It's funny. It's kind of an unwritten law in the business that we come from, and when we grew up in the business, is you just don't do that. We never take over anybody's voice who can't do it themselves.
Right.
We just don't do it. But
Yeah, it's grand theft.
okay.
That's happening now with Netflix.
Yeah.
They're going to produce a Transformer series, but they're not going union, and we work in our union. That's what protects us all as actors. And when other guys, they go underneath that, and they literally are, they're destroying the union from from outside. It's subterfuge. It's just, it's wrong. It's wrong. But that's what's going to happen with this series. There'll be somebody else doing Optimus Prime, and that hurts. That hurts. Yeah, don't let it happen.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix. They're bad. That's not nice. Yeah.
Ultimately, we do everything for you. So you're the audience. You're the power. So what you want will ultimately be the end. So you decide what you want, and hopefully it's good.
So, what do you feel about that? About what both of those men say? How do you feel about the current state of voice acting and how the union plays and stuff like that?
No, I definitely I owe a lot to the union. Unions, now it's one. I appreciate what they try to do, but in recent years, they just haven't been able to or willing to stand up to these giant mega corporations who it's the same as it always has been. It was the same before there was show business unions. We don't have the money, we don't have the budget, how can we do that, or whatever. It's too costly to follow the residuals and stuff. I guess that's the thing with streaming. It's like, well, we can't calculate it. It's like, yes, you can. You've got the data on every single subscriber, you lying, greedy, money people. It's always been that way. But they to me, when you recast something or you do a reboot of a beloved classic series, even a silly cartoon, even a ridiculous comedy, whatever, anything at all, and then you cut corners, you get cheap with the with the talent. I'm talking about production talent as well as writing talent. Boy, that's something. Ugh. Right?
I'm not
the script is everything. Why aren't you paying great writers what they're asking? Instead, you've got people that are wannabe writers, and they're quite literally illiterate and uninterested in whatever, even in the subject, or they're inept. We get this dialogue that's it's plain dumb. I'm trying to edit myself, and it's like, who wrote this? As I've said often, there are scripts for animated TV series, especially. So everything is written in the voice of a 14-year-old girl from Encino or whatever. Well, you don't know. North Hollywood, we'll say. I think the country could understand North Hollywood. The suburban, spoiled, modern, not very articulate or interesting young person who shouldn't necessarily even be a writer, but they want to be, and they'll do the work for
whatever pay,
a tenth of the price, and do what the money people that I like that movie Polar Express. Could you do something like the speech that Tom Hanks makes to the kid in the scene? And no, I need that. Yeah, do that. And it's like, yeah, because a real writer would say goodbye.
Right.
And but what what happens when you don't use the real pros in production, writing, and performance, is you end up with something that maybe if you hype it well enough, it'll make money for a week or two, and then it's gone, and that's it. That's the end of it, and then you ruin franchises that way too.
I'm not going to. I shouldn't say this about the Transformers series he's talking about. Is called Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy that Peter was talking about. And
is that the one they do it? Don't they do it in Canada or something?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And
otherwise they'd get nailed by the unions.
Yeah. And oh wait, that's crazy. No, because most of the actors are from Canada. That makes so much sense. Anyways, that show, you can tell I'm just not interested in the show. I'm gonna be honest, and it's a lot.
Well, even the what was it? The third, or maybe it was the second Transformers series was done in Canada, and because Wally. We can't use you guys because they want to do it in non-union. So I'm working on a phone patch with these Canadians or whatever. They'd fly them up to Vancouver to direct.
I know
they're just they're not as good as you guys. But I'm sorry, that's all. They can't afford whatever. Yeah. That's showbiz.
Yeah, I spent so much time with you, and literally, I'm enjoying every second. But I don't want to keep you too long, so I want to. I'll close it in a few here. But I do want to talk about one of my all-time favorite characters you've ever done. That's Cad Bane. I cannot leave the show without talking about Cad Bane.
One of my favorites, absolutely. Maybe my favorite co-creation. Because it's myself. It's George Lucas. It's the writers. It's Matt Wood and the sound process that he developed for the character. It's Dave. But did I mention George Lucas?
Right. I was so happy.
George Lucas. Well, the story behind Cad Bane, and I think it's okay to say this. I've said it before. They cast. They wanted this alien, and sort of as from like a spaghetti western. In the Old West, but like in a Clint Eastwood's spaghetti western. It was based on Lee Van Cleef. I never watched those spaghetti westerns. I was not into it when I was a kid. But anyway, and they cast for the voice a fabulous voice actor, fabulous human being, Lance Henriksen. Again, Lance, always he's not always a scary guy, but usually he's a really villainous, scary, psychopathic guy. And of course, the huggiest, sweetest, dearest man I've worked with, you know, they're all that way. But anyway, so they cast Lance to play sort of a Western character. And George, he said, you know, I love Lance, but it's not weird enough. He said, you know, I need it to sound like and I think he named me personally. It's like, I've never met him in person, but he knows who I am. He said, could you have him play the character like Lance, but in the voice of Peter Lorre? And so that's what Dave said. He said, can you do Lance but in the voice of Peter Lorre? And I said, oh, that's interesting. And so I came up with this thing, you know. I don't know about that, you guys. Yeah, we love the thing where, you know, he's such a creep, you know. You don't want to go in that room, little lady.
Just like that.
and you know, and I was thinking Lance's delivery would be, yeah, little lady, you know, Western, and then Peter Lorre has that thing, that intensity, that European, you know, psychopath quality, and then you know, so and then, you know, the writing and Dave's direction. Yeah. For the, you know, recent stuff I've done as Cad.
I was so glad he came back in the new Bad Batch show. That was so hype, seeing him to come back like after so many years, because I know the Clone Wars got canceled and then it got brought back to a finish, and then they made the spin-off. And when I saw Cad Bane, it was like, I think it was like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. I was up because I'm always up, and I was watching Bad Batch. I was like, oh, okay, another Bad Batch episode. Yeah. And then I see the silhouette. I'm like, I almost leaped out of my chair. I love Cad.
Well, you know, I mean, and yeah, like I said, my favorite. And
did you get to record with D for that show?
Oh yeah. Well, for Bad Batch. The first ones when we could go to the studio, but otherwise, but D would usually do most of his, you know, clone scenes by himself, because, you know,
it's him.
it's him doing all these characters. But no, I mean, and in the unproduced episodes,
he fights Boba Fett.
I can say this. They, you know, like people were saying, they killed your character. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And I just laughed, and I turned to Dave and I said, a good villain never dies. And Dave said, yeah. Yeah, I know. I'll be back. A good villain never dies. Good villains always come back. Now he's like, oh, gee, you know, he didn't really die. They left him, you know, gasping for air, and you thought he was going to be dead, but then at the last second.
So this question I think is pretty cool. Obviously, with more recent Star Wars content like The Mandalorian, we've seen a lot of the animated characters such as Bo-Katan and Ahsoka appear in a live action form. And with the Book of Boba Fett coming out next week, there are a lot of theories and rumors going around that next week or sometime as the show progresses, there's a likelihood that we could see a live action version of the amazing bounty hunter Cad Bane. Now, I would love that so much. I love Cad Bane. If they were to do a live action Cad Bane. How would you feel about that?
Oh, be great. Why? How you know? How could that not be just perfect? You know?
Do you have an idea for an actor who could like play Cad Bane? Maybe.
Well, you know, he's an alien. And I think on The Mandalorian and Book of Boba is actually it is part of the Mandalorian series. It's so they use animatronics and prosthetics. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Till I did some bit parts early on with Dave, and you know, I didn't know that. I thought it was all digital. No, they're animatronics. It's like, whoa, wow, boy, they've gotten good at that. So you know, so for a character like Cad Bane, a Duro could very easily be an animatronic figure, animatronic face.
What you're getting at is that you would like to do it.
And a live action actor, and gee, I could do the voice. I would think.
Have you heard any rumors of him coming to live action, or is this my
Well,
first
look
time
at
you heard?
the last season. It's funny, I didn't even realize it. I should have known. I didn't know until the season was over that the wild boar character with the teeth was actually oh God, I'm an old man now, and I've never been good at names.
I'm not either. Don't even worry about
the Richard. No. It's a big Nick Nolte. Yeah, Nick Nolte did that, you know. Now his voice is so.
Hold on. I think I know which character you're talking about too.
Yeah, he was in at least 3 episodes, and it's like, boy, that sounds like a caricature of Nick Nolte's current voice. It's like, oh, it is Nick Nolte.
You are a bounty hunter.
Yes.
I will help you.
Oh, Corey, that's me.
Is that who you're talking about?
No, but Corey was so much fun. I did my whole day. Right? Or did we change it?
No, that's exactly how it sounds.
I start out like Titus Moody, the old radio actor. Howdy, bub. Well, I'm just sitting here, old New Englander. It's funny because Parker Fennelly, the actor who played Titus Moody, was yeah, that's from Rebels. Did I do Corey in Rebels? I guess.
Yes, Rebels.
I did him in Lego. Yeah.
Yes, you did him in Rebels though too. Yeah.
Lego. Do you know? I should check it out. What happened to what the kid? The kid in Lego Star Wars. Lego Star Wars. What he's working on now. What a talented actor that kid! Oh my God! I even, it's like I teased him, and though he overheard, unfortunately, when I was talking to Nika Nika Futterman, Nika Frost, or whatever.
Asajj
she bills
Ventress,
as.
yep.
Yeah, oh God, I love Asajj. And I love Nika. It's funny because all I knew was Nika, you know, all these, forgive me, but annoying, kind of screechy kid characters that she's made a lot of money on. But Nika's always been a sweetheart, and what a doll. Yes, and geez, she's stunning, a stunning young lady. I guess she's not that young. She still looks young. But when she did Ventress, I said, I didn't know that you could do that. It's like, yes, damn, where have you been? You know, I love that. Oh, it's so good. And she, oh, you didn't know I did villains? I said, no. Just, yeah.
This is one question I was wondering.
I'm an actress.
I wanted to ask. I wanted to ask.
Oh yeah, well, I worked with Nika on Mike, Lou, and Og. You ever seen Mike, Lou, and Og? Those are funny shows. That was Chuck Swenson who did Rugrats, and that was the little independent series he did.
For the Clone Wars movie, I was interested in, since you've done Count Dooku for so long. Christopher Lee actually did Count Dooku in the movie, but my question is, were you ever slated to do Count Dooku for the movie, and then they said Christopher Lee was going to do it?
Yeah. No. We did those episodes that they pulled together to make the movie from.
Wait, so it was originally supposed to be you?
It was. They were produced and everything. And then Samuel Jackson's agent
Windu came back.
Said, wait. In the contract here, that is a theatrical release. The theatrical actors get rights of first refusal on the characters, so you have to let the on-screen movie actors play their characters. So they had to dump our tracks, and they dubbed the original film actors if they wanted it to. And I guess Christopher Lee's agent made him do it. But you know, have you talked to Matthew Wood? You should interview Matthew.
I want to, man, but I feel like I don't think he wants to do it, which is cool. But I would love to speak to him. Such a great,
Matt, I don't think if he's got the time, he'll do it.
I would love to speak to him.
Matt is he's a great. He's just great. He's one of my best buddies. Also in the. I mean, I can say that about 150 people. You know.
I'm sure people love Wood.
I love Matt Wood. He is just he's brilliant. He and talk about no ego at all, you know. Oh God, Matt, and I forever thank him. He let me he introduced me, let me meet a hero of mine that I absolutely made a fool of myself in front of Ben Burt. I think Ben Burt is one of the great geniuses of all time when it comes to the art of sound and motion picture sound. And I was talking about Ben Burt when I was up visiting there. Skywalker Ranch back in the old days when it was owned by Lucasfilm.
Have you seen the sequels? The new Disney movies, the new Disney Star Wars movies like Force Awakens, Last Jedi?
Oh yeah.
Rogue...
Yeah.
Okay. What are your thoughts
Yeah,
on?
yeah. Which one?
The Force Awakens was where Mark Hamill was in it for a second, and The Last
Yeah.
Jedi was one that
Force Awakens I liked, and
The Last Jedi came next.
yeah, that was the one where Luke Skywalker was finally dragged back into the fight.
Yes.
And of course does the Obi-Wan thing. If you strike me down, I will only become more powerful. You can imagine it, whatever the line is.
Yes.
Yeah. I loved that one.
The fans are gonna kill you.
I
for
loved
that.
it.
That's a
I
divisive
loved it.
one.
I loved it because Mark. You know, I was just so proud of him, and it's funny because you know who's a big fan of that is the political MSNBC guy Joe Scarborough. Mark Hamill doesn't get enough credit. I just loved it, and it's funny. I mean, Mark had his problems with it. I don't know. I don't like the way. Yeah, whatever. It's a gig. That's Mark. You know, Mark's a working stiff actor like the rest of us. He'll never think of himself as a big star.
Which is crazy. I mean, everybody knows who Mark Hamill is.
Yeah. Well, he knows that. I'm glad he finally feels the love, because for so many years you'd see his name and then people would go, "Oh, what the hell? Lucky guy, had no talent." And I would become enraged because I love Mark. And again, he is a terrific actor, as we finally see in The Last Jedi. But then it was the last one. It was The Rise of Skywalker that I watched with a buddy, and I didn't know. I didn't read the reviews, and I thought, oh, what the hell? Why did they make that? Oh, jeez, what a...
That's another divisive.
There's
one.
just nothing there that's any good at all. It's just like,
you don't like that they brought back
Palpatine
Palpatine from the 30-year-old movie. It is what it is, and now we're going into a new era of Star Wars. Of course, now we're in the High Republic era with the books, and now we're getting a video game next year for the... I think either next year or in 2 years we're getting a new game for the High Republic era. So we're diving more into this new era of Star Wars.
Well, really, I mean, I think... just you know, my personal old cranky showbiz veteran opinion. This era belongs to the Mandalorian. It just clearly, Dave, who is, you know, truly one of my best friends in show business. We've known each other for 15 years.
Yeah.
When we see each other, it's family. He's family, you know. He's just another brother of mine. Hey, buddy. So George thought we should do this, and I don't know. We just have so much fun together. You talk to Dave?
No, that's a guy on my list.
Although I don't know how he has time, but you know,
he's
Dave
doing
will talk
so
to anyone.
much. Yeah,
He will talk to anyone. He's just Dave. He's just the most open, unself-conscious person I think I have ever met in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And brilliant and hardworking, and as a director and producer and writer, he's a team captain. He draws everyone together, even if it's his vision. Everyone has their input. He doesn't leave anyone out. He knows that co-creation is the thing, and he's he's still George's right-hand man, even though George is retired supposedly. Yeah, I talk to him every day. Every day, George. He's got something to say about every scene. Every character. Yeah. Oh God, there's George again. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll do that. No, I don't think it should be that way. And he said, George, he likes to play games, and he likes you to fight with him. And yeah, George said we should do this for that character. And I fought him, and and he said, "Good, I wanted you to fight me." On that, because you're right,
One fight I think about is that I think George Lucas wanted Ahsoka to die, and Dave Filoni's very against that, and he went to he did not want Ahsoka to die.
And it's funny, and I was so distraught about the casting of Rosario Dawson in the live action role, because I love
Ashley.
Ashley. Oh, I love her. And and I saw her turn from just kind of a ditzy young film actress, whatever, into one of the finest voice actresses I've ever worked with.
Talk about
a great human being. The sweetest person, and she is stunningly beautiful girl, and a beautiful soul, and her husband is a big baseball player, famous star. I don't know. I met him. He was just a nice guy. I'm Ashley's husband. Just they're such lovely people, but and then and I saw what Rosario and Dave, and I just did a refresh.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I was so scared. I was like, I wanted to talk to him a little bit more.
Yeah. So anyway, once I saw what they had done with the casting and the makeup, and just the direction, of course. I just thought, well, it's an older Ahsoka, and damn, she's got it. As hurt as I feel, I mean, I'm deeply hurt for Ashley, but she's not old enough. And yes, they could do the makeup, but she's not a physical actress like that. And I love what they've done. It's
so good.
But as far as Ashley will always be the animated Ahsoka. But in the final seasons of Clone Wars animated series,
I still cry when she leaves the Jedi Order. I will never not cry when she leaves the Jedi Order. That is such an emotional scene. Oh.
I cried when I saw the script. Honestly, no. Because I fell in love, and it's funny. I don't usually like those kind of characters, but she made Ahsoka, and I give her great credit. Usually, I only give the credit to the writers and the animators and whatever and the director, but Ashley brings such spark to that character that I truly fell in love with the Ahsoka character. It's like my favorite niece or something. It's like, oh, that kid, I love that kid. She's feisty.
But now I want to transition into the cool part of my interviews, where it's called Weird and Wacky, where you have 1 minute to answer a series of weird and random questions. No one has gotten to 15 questions, although the current championship title holder is Simon Norfleet with a record of 14 questions answered. Do you think it could be?
Okay. Well, I can guarantee you. Here, bring your level up. There we go.
Got it.
Apple. Hey, says iPad. It's like, why do they mess with your volume settings?
Right.
It's like, I set the volume there. Why did you turn it down? Anyway, I can hear you good now.
Awesome. So now, so now you have 1 minute to answer a series of weird and random questions. The segment is called Weird and Wacky. No one has gotten to a record of 15 questions, although the current championship title holder is Simon Norfleet with a record of 14 questions answered. Do you think you could beat him?
Oh, I have no idea. It depends on the nature of the questions.
All right. I'm going to start the timer in 3.
If there's numbers, I'm a loser. I have numerical dyslexia.
We got it. All right, so I'm about to start the timer in 3, 2, 1. Longest time period without taking a shower.
Oh, 3 days maybe when I was sick.
Favorite dessert.
Chocolate, melty, something. Cake.
Favorite musician.
Oh, current. Oh my God, there's too many choices.
Most memorable line you've given as any one of your characters.
Oh my God. Oh, these are hard questions.
16, 14. 13.
Oh my God, there's something. Nice hat. Cad Bane.
Hardest character you've had to voice. Time is up.
Oh.
But no, hardest character you've had to voice.
I had to voice a Brazilian newsreel narrator.
Wow.
Recreating a newsreel for the release of the original Snow White, probably, or Fantasia. I don't remember. And the director expected me, or the producer, whatever, expected me to be able to, I can do an old newscaster, but in Portuguese, oh, it's easy. So I can speak Spanish words, I can speak French words, I can speak German words, but Portuguese is kind of a meld of all of them, and I can't do this. And he got angry at me, and I got angry at him. It's like, what?
Now we both angry.
Yeah, I said, this is... and because it was supposed to be, it must have been Snow White. Because there's 1938, and so, newsreel voices from 1938, everybody's speaking very quickly. So in Portuguese, and every word was like, how is that pronounced again? Was I don't know.
I get it. Well, Mr. Corey, this has been such a phenomenal interview. I've enjoyed talking to you. You're so nice and so cool and have such a nice air about you. And I'm so glad I got to bring you on. I've had so much fun talking to you and getting to get your perspective on everything. You're just a legend. And honestly, I would love to bring you back on for a part 2 because like there's so much.
Absolutely. Anytime. No, I'm honestly, I'm honored and flattered to be part of your show. I think you're doing something. Of course, there's an awful lot of podcasts and interviews and stuff, but on this level of intellect, professionalism, and preparation and entertainment value, just top tier good television, good talk entertainment, you're top of the heap. I mean, I'm really impressed.
Don't you ever make me cry like that again. Don't
see, I always tell people, because I don't, it's the Asperger's thing. I don't compliment. I don't BS people, if somebody does something that's not that great, and they say, well, what did you think? And I go, oh, that was fun, or whatever. You looked great, or whatever. I will never hand out a compliment that isn't sincere, and I don't really compliment. I just give honest assessments and analytical, nerdish way. Again, Asperger's. We're supposed to be very, cold-blooded and heartless.
Oh no! Stop it! You're great.
But we just live in this different space. Our brains just work a little differently, and that's just my honest assessment here. This is good. This is good. This is good. This is good. But I'm a fan. See, I'm impressed. You're so young to be such an old pro at this sort of I don't even know what you call it.
Podcasting, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. But it more specifically entertainment media. I don't know, discussion. In-depth exploration and historian type of stuff. And
listen, I love history.
You're just such a pro, and I really admire that. In an age when people have fame and fortune and make fortune is money, and just they're incompetent or do crap or don't care, or it's all on the surface, and like I said, it's like Leonard Maltin or Roger Ebert. I never was interviewed by Roger Ebert, but actually, was he alive? Yeah, I think he was alive when the Return to Neverland came out. I think. I don't know. Oh well, it doesn't matter.
But my final question, thank you so much for that. It truly means the world to me. But my final question to you is, what is your current message to the world? If you were given a mic and could tell the world one message, what would you say to people during these current times that we live in? Obviously, we're still in a global pandemic. Laws are being changed. There's so much changing around the world. What would you say to people who are just in this current time that we find ourselves in?
It's funny. A lot of times when there's been a tragedy or whatever, or somebody's having difficulties in life, I always say onward and upward. It's like, okay, yes, that's bad. This impediment is in the way. All right, we got a show to do. Onward. That's the showbiz thing. The show must go on. Forget about all that stuff. What's important? And I don't know. I guess that's more in the realm of again, from my perspective, somebody who's different. In my reactions and emotional projection or connections, but I guess you could consider this linked in a way with social media, but at the same time, it's like listen to your grandparents. Have a few good friends. You share your views and hopes and dreams for the world with a handful of people you actually know. As far as public social media, I think if it keeps going this way, we're done for.
I was about to ask, you don't have any social media accounts. Have you ever considered making one, like a Twitter or an Instagram?
No, well, I used to have my own website, and I had an interactive message board. And unfortunately, it was an old technology, an old system that was dumped. And so a friend of mine, now ex-friend, that's another story. That's some other issues. But anyway, so that was lost. But for 10 years, I sort of conducted what I felt was a continuation of sharing what I knew in the way that my teacher, mentor, Daws Butler did with his workshop. So I shared, I had just had this message board, and it became this exclusive club where people would ask good questions, and I would just give whole long dissertations about the history of show business and what I knew about something or other, about acting, about microphones especially, that I'm obsessed with. And so some opinion, but it was mostly just trying to teach, to share from my experience of all these years of knowing so many people and working on so many productions all over show business, and I thought it was a good thing. And then this shows how long ago it was. And then MySpace came along. And so having your own website, interactive message board, was no longer that big a deal. And then, and by the time Facebook came around, already there was this social media juggernaut, and people started to basically knock me out of the instructor's seat and started to dominate the conversation. I'm like, wait a minute, this is my classroom. Get your own classroom. Like,
Right.
no, this is a conversation, and you're wrong about this, and I disagree with you. And what did you do? You know, and then ugly things they started saying, and it started to get ugly and regressive. Or people would ask questions that I'd answered years ago in great detail. I said, well, go back, you know. I talked about that already. You're new here, so you'll find it, you know. And I kind of ran out of stuff, but I just didn't like what was going on, where everybody felt that they had the right to, or not. I mean, we'll have rights, of course. But
they felt entitled.
They felt entitled. They felt they deserved to be an authoritative voice when 95% had nothing to offer but negativity, petty opinions, and really hurtful, revengeful garbage. And now with the politics and the absurd anti-science, anti-literacy, anti-sensibility, anti-human crap that pretends to be some kind of legitimate politics, I say, I'm sorry. My family was wiped out by the Nazis in Europe in the 1940s. I have no living relatives in Europe. That's why I don't go there. On both sides. Yeah, utterly wiped out. And when I see this hearkening, you know, this acceptance of what enabled the rise of the Nazis and the fascists in the 1940s or 1930s, when they rose. I'm sorry. It's like I have absolutely no human compassion or acceptance of it, you know. Yes. That's where I'm just as nasty and horrible and ugly as they are in my intolerance of anything that smacks of fascism and Nazism. I say no. I thought we got rid of you people
years ago, right?
In the 40s.
Yeah.
After you wiped out my families on both sides, you know, that's it. My whole ancestry was wiped out. And no, I'm sorry. You know, it's like I have no sympathy.
Yes.
Like, yeah, well, I was just, you know, I didn't really mean it. I just, you know, that's funny, isn't it? Kill the Jews.
I don't know why people think that they could just say whatever they want or joke about whatever they want in these spaces and just for it to be okay.
Well, sadly, as it is worldwide, and I don't have to name names of organizations and individuals. They're all billionaires. But, you know, as we've seen on discussions about Facebook and such, that is the fastest, easiest way to make lots and lots and lots of money, is by stoking outrage. Stoke outrage. Yeah, isn't that fun? Isn't that fun to make everybody want to murder each other for no reason other than you think the dress was blue and green and they think it was brown and gray, whatever. I don't know the colors. Dyslexia. But it's idiocy, it's madness, and it disgusts me. And again, it harkens back to my experience with the scary, gangy guys in high school.
Right.
It's like, wait a minute, you treat them like a child that we all are. We're always children, no matter how old we get.
Yep.
Who was hurt, who's confused, who's frightened, and they feel they have to strike out and arm themselves. Yeah. Guns don't solve problems, they only make them. Sorry. I know, that's a little political. Second Amendment. Yeah, well, I have arguments about that too. But anyway.
I mean, you can.
See now probably 1/3 of the audience just, enemy, he's Antifa. Yeah, okay. That means anti-fascism, right? Oh, so you're for fascism? Fascism is a good thing. All right. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Simple. Yes.
The United States of America is the enemy of fascism. The United States of America is anti-fascist.
Yes.
So if you're an American, you are Antifa. And Antifa is not a club, an organization that has a structure. The FBI director said it. It's just an ideology. And all the rest is BS. To make money by getting your attention. So you'll buy chopped foam pillows. Anyway, so I mean, I don't mean to be a downer, because I always like to end things with, the onward and upward that I think an awful lot of people are coming out of the trance that they've been in. I just wish people would start shutting off all of the sources, the devices are good if you're using it
positively
to learn and explore the good things, the scientific developments, even in industry and business and society, the things that are helping people and making people happy and making the world better and hopefully saving the world from collapse. That's all wonderful, but all of this just ugly reinforcement of superstition and hatred and anti-science and anti-responsibility. Yeah, well, I have the freedom not to get vaccinated. Also, so it's perfectly all right to just to spread deadly diseases wherever you walk. No, I don't think that's not freedom.
And that's not an opinion that should be shared, because this is hurting lives of people like you who or me that I.
Yeah, well, I'm, I don't have a problem with age pretending to be younger than I'm 66 years old.
Yes.
I'm stuck in this room. I don't go anywhere. Because, once I get the booster, I occasionally, that's kind of a lie. Yeah, I will go to certain places, but very carefully and masked and everything. There was a brief period when it was safe to go to like a restaurant and take off the mask and all that. And the only people there were vaccinated and all that. I'll get my booster as soon as I can. And then maybe I'll go out a little bit more. But otherwise, it's too much of a risk.
I'm glad you're taking care of yourself, and I wish more people would be more considerate of people such as yourself, and not even just elderly people. People like to think that because COVID hurts elderly people more. No, this is like hurting people my age too. I know one of my friends said
absolutely.
He was like he didn't really care. I was like, and then he got it. I was like, hey bro, how you doing? He was like, my lungs. Let's not talk about it. Like that is so sad to hear that people just think that elderly people, they're about to die anyways, which I think is a disgusting way to look at it. Elderly people are people too. Anyways,
I have a lot of doctors in my family, and I've always been interested in medicine. I was supposed to be a doctor, but it's like I can't be in a classroom for that many years. Are you kidding? I run a so Steve Landesberg, the comedian, who said, I want to sing, daddy. Doing an Al Jolson thing. Anyway. It's not even so much dying from COVID. It's, and I keep thinking myself and about 25 people I know, we seem to have had an early mild form of COVID before it hit China. I talked to them, they go, yeah, me too. Yeah. And, that long haul crap. I still about every week and a half, I'll have a day where I just don't want to get out of bed. I'm just like, I'm tired. And then, stuffy nose for a day, or body aches or whatever, and when I get the vaccine, I guess because of my age or whatever, it's like I'll have the reaction day, the day following, and then that's over, and then 2 days after that, I'm hit with a wave of stuffy nose or wheeziness or aches, one or the other, and then I'm fine for a couple of days, and then another thing hits. It's like okay, this body system is now adjusting, this body system is now getting the antibodies, this system, everything takes a little time once you pass age 60. I love doing it. By the way, that's one of my favorite things to do. Oh, that was one of my favorite characters. Was Mike Lewinog. I did Old Queeks, and it was great because Chuck Swenson, the creator of Mike Lewinog, he had me do an old man, and I like to do those wheezy old characters with no teeth or whatever. Anyway, this Old Queeks character was a hermit, and it was like Ben Gunn from Treasure Island, And
he had me do it in this high falsetto.
Oh! And oh God, one of the funniest things I've done, it's on one of my demos. Had me sing a lullaby. It was a takeoff of the Princess and the Pea story. It's called Sleeping Ugly, the episode of Mike Lewinog. It's on YouTube or something. It's really funny.
And I got to sing a song in this voice. Oh.
And it's so funny.
A lullaby. Go to sleep, my lady.
I remember that.
You
I
know?
remember that from the demo because I listened to both of your demos.
It's
and
so funny. And that was written by this Russian guy who was really hilarious. That was such a fun show. But it didn't last long. Again, Cartoon Network, they didn't know what to do with it.
You know, well, is it a kid's show? Is it an adult show? We don't know where to put it.
And they didn't promote it. And it's normal. Well, that's like the Atlantis series. Which some people, what's his name? Weisman?
Greg Weisman?
Yeah. I don't think he's ever gotten over it. That they pulled the plug on that series.
We don't know what to do with it. It doesn't fit any demographic in our charts, and we don't know what to do with it.
So they just... And they were coming along so well. The first 5 episodes... not that good, but eventually it really got good. It was we were really exploring the characters, and they were good stories. And
that's another, I just hate when shows get canceled like that. Like Transformers Animated got canceled. Another show you're part of, the Secret Saturdays, got canceled. I love the Secret Saturdays.
Secret Saturdays
that got canceled.
Secret Saturdays. Oh yeah, that's another favorite character too. Argost.
VV Argost.
VV Argost, the most outrageous character I've ever done. I combined every villain, every pervert and disgusting creature, and the thing that I couldn't believe that they let us do it. Vivi Argost was a pedophile. Oh yeah, same.
Yes, Zack Saturday. Why don't you come over to my lair?
It's like, oh, yuck, oh, he was such a creep. And Zack Saturday was, Sam, he's on the Goldbergs.
I know who you're talking about.
Great character as Ham, Sammy. In fact, they sped up his voice a little bit, make him a little younger.
That's why it sounded so different. I was like, it sounds like him, but it doesn't at the same time.
Yeah. They because I would see him record it, and then I'd hear it on the air. I was like, wait a minute, they're speeding that up, make him a little younger. But
yeah, okay. So
what a wonderful, funny actor, a great guy, and him and his dad, both on the Goldbergs. His dad plays his dad on the Goldbergs too. Sam. His names, Anyway, but yeah, and we had so much fun, and it was even an episode where he imitated Argost, and it's just fun. Well, God, that was fun. And then Diedrich Bader. I always want to call him Diedrich Bader because it's so German. He says, "I'm a great big kraut." He says, and he always gets cast as Jewish characters, which he loves. His wife's Jewish,
They got Fred Tatasciore, Phil Morris, Nicole
Fred, Phil. Oh, these people. I don't know if there are words to describe the the oceans of love that I have for all of those people that you named. They are so fabulous. They just, again, you forget the talent. And in the case of like Phil, his physical beauty, he's a stunning looking man. But all of them, they're just the most sensationally beautiful human beings. To spend a minute or a year with, you feel just warm all over, and you have so much fun. And they're so smart, and they're talented, and yeah. That's see, there I go.
No.
The best people in the world, And
I guess we'll just.
And anybody that's crappy,
they don't make it long. That's what I hear.
They don't make it long. Yeah, there was one guy who got very wealthy from a stock deal, who was not a good person, and anyway, and he left the business, and we were really happy. It's like, oh, thank God that guy's gone. He had talent, but anyway, and then the bubble burst and all that. I don't know. I'm sure he didn't go totally broke, but he wanted to come back to Hollywood, and no. It's like, oh, you came back. Oh, gee, we don't need you anymore.
Well, I guess we'll just call it there. Before we close, can you give me a shout out in the voice of Shockwave?
Oh, sure. How would you like to be promoted?
You could just say like something nice or something cool in the way Shockwave would say it, like, something. You could just something cool, something nice, something Shockwave would say about me, just something like that.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, how would you like to be logoed as?
You can say Josh. Just say Josh. Yes.
Just Josh, not Joshua.
Yes.
Although that would seem more in character but
do
no.
Joshua then. Do Joshua then.
Oh no.
Nah, I want you to now because it was more.
Oh, okay. All right.
Go ahead.
Yes. This is Shockwave. It has been my ultimate honor to be interviewed by young Joshua on the subject of voice acting and the Transformers series and other animated productions. I shall be here in the far reaches of outer space, in my lonely outpost, enjoying the Jantmore interviews as they come along. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone. I'll see you on my next interview. Thank you, Corey, for being my
That was a very weak Shockwave. I had all this phlegm in my voice.
Oh.
And so I just took advantage of it and played him very sort of very dying.
It's all good. I love it. Thank you for being
if that works.
Interview.
If that works, I don't know. The idea is to bring a smile or a laugh.
And I did. You're great.
But anything, anytime at all.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining. This is a great way to end off Jam More interviews this year. I will see you next, guys, for our next interview, January 7th. And I hope to see you all there. Love to you all. And I'll see y'all later. Peace. Okay.